Hello, my name is Codie Mitchell. This is my objectives presentation. I'm a network security major at the University of Advancing Technology. So this is my website. If you go through, you'll see my About Me, network security student, a blog for my SIP project. I'm going to skip this real quick. Keep going down and you'll see my SIP project itself and then my contact information. This is my portfolio or my objectives, which is what we will be focusing on today. So if you select the first objective, each page will have the objective number, how to use the website. Each objective will be listed here and a more in-depth breakdown of why I believe that each assignment meets the objectives. So going back up to the first objective, the assignment is the OSI Models web browser. So for this assignment, I broke down the full 7-layer OSI model. This meets the objective because I diagrammed and discussed the traffic flow between each layer, starting from the client-side internet to the internal server and back again. For the second assignment, OSI Models Network Diagram. For this assignment, I created a network diagram for a company called Me, Myself, and I, Inc. This diagram included every device the company utilized, including routers, switches, firewalls, servers, printers, etc. Moving on to the next one, LabRats, Inc. So for this assignment, I provided recommendations to improve the security and infrastructure for LabRats, Inc. I provided a network diagram covering my recommended layout and provided in-depth coverage and screenshots on standing up various components such as Active Directory, load balancers, and installing operating systems on virtual hardware. So going back, go to Objective 2. So the first assignment would be system hardening. So for this assignment, I discussed setup and configuration of several Windows tools as part of the system hardening process. Tools and settings included Device Guard, TCP/IP, NetBIOS Helper, Windows features, BitLocker, Pop-up Blocker, and a few other things. If you scroll through, you will see an in-depth breakdown of everything I did for this assignment. Going to the next assignment, Outlet Security Report. This was actually my SIP project. So for this assignment, I installed and utilized several security tools to perform a security assessment of the Owlet Baby products and application. The tools used were ZenMap, the GUI version of Nmap, Burp Suite, HTTP Toolkit, and a few other things such as Android Debug Bridge, Android Virtual Device, Android Studio. And so if you scroll through, you will see everything I did for this assignment. Going to Objective 3. So for this objective, the first assignment is NTS 370. So for this assignment, I created 4 scripts which can be used during security testing and audits to automatically retrieve data to perform port scans. The first script retrieves the list of users for a Linux operating system by looking at the password file and includes their username, home directory, and default shell type. The second script parses out log files and retrieves failed logins. The third performs a port scan on a target using Nmap to determine if the target is running a web server. The final script dumps the password hashes for all users, which could be later used in a tool such as John the Ripper to crack passwords. So you can scroll through and kind of see what I did there. So the next assignment for Objective 3 would be the port scan assignment. So for this assignment, I created a port scanning script to automatically scan all IP addresses from a range defined by the user. This would be helpful when looking for hosts on a network for discovery or enumerating ports for hosts during a pen test. You can kind of look at that, going there. So going back to Objective 4, the first assignment here is LabRats, Inc. So for this assignment, I provided recommendations to LabRats, Inc., including recommendations for business continuity. These recommendations included things like installing load balancers to maintain availability, installing secondary systems for critical operations such as Active Directory, and disk mirroring on file servers to maintain critical files such as legal documents. This is a very in-depth assignment. If you scroll through, you can get more information on that. So the second assignment is cost of downtime report. So the cost of downtime report, for this assignment, I created a document that discussed the cost of downtime for a predefined company that could be included in their disaster recovery plan. So this document included several scenarios of various systems going offline or needing to be replaced throughout the company's 3 physical buildings. Scroll through and get more information on that as well. So the next assignment is backup and recovery plan. For this assignment, I created backup strategies for a manufacturing company covering power failures, server failures, and issues with the factory. These strategies can be filed with the company's BCDR plans and tested periodically to ensure that it meets the company's needs and successfully maintains uptime. So now going to objective number 5. So for this one, for objective number 5, the first one is research and analysis. So for this assignment, I researched and discussed Congress's action after the pipeline shutdown, which would result in new regulations to protect ourselves from future attacks. I provided my insight into these proposed bills and included recommendations on how their response could be improved. Okay, so going on to the next one. So data center security final. So for this one, I researched and created an implementation plan for the physical and information security for a data center. These recommendations would be required to receive the certifications necessary for a company to remain competitive and attract / maintain customers. So you can go through and see this one. So for my final assignment in this objective, I have FISMA. So for this assignment, I discussed the Federal Information Security Management Act, which requires agencies to protect sensitive information throughout the implementation of information security plans. This research paper included a detailed breakdown on the bill as well as its strengths and weaknesses. Going back to our final objective, objective 6. So backup and restore plan. So this one meets objective 6. For this assignment, I researched several mitigation strategies for implementing backups for various systems, including power systems and systems and manufacturing equipment. For each strategy, I cover several backup options in use today and provided my recommendation to which I think best suits the company in question. And for the final objective assignment, the Colonial Pipeline. So for this assignment, I researched and discussed the recent malicious attack on the Colonial Pipeline. For this paper, I detailed the events, discussed the current theories as to how the attack occurred, and provided my insight on the event and how it could have been avoided. So you can read that as well. So those are all of my objectives, objective 1 through 6, and my assignments. Thank you so much for listening to my objective assignment, and I really appreciate your time and you being here. Thank you and have a great day.